sura mamu sol boy alamale di sodi sumialanye bankomolu woye yawo mbale mbaranye Gambia musol woye nawo mbale mbaranye bankomolu woye nawo mbawoye woyo moluoy Wayna mbawoye wayo Banko musolo Gambia musolo alma ale al sutura alba doko minna alla bata alma ale akali khairati atollo musolti min yalanko alka wulu alka fatimol to alka dingol to koma iko mo soto be min no minnam wayna woy mbale mbaranye bankomolo wayna woye ba woy sura mamu solo alamale di sodi sumialanye bankomolo wayna woye ba woy sura mamu solo alamale di sodi Yellow man soto, Diol man soto, Alula le alte city, Gambia musutendolo, Anna Gambia bonde, Nalu, Animbara, Dolalu, Gambia musolu, no de banda in dunia konole, Alto mamaru laka fanyin tingolto, Albar musul laka fanyin tingolto, Aldol laka fanyin tingolto. Ali Gambia bondi di kokono babe bana potolala balul mansone abanko kamusolo Alnimbara Meda minni na Gambia ngasira bile
Agriculture is the most important sector in the Gambian economy. It has been one of the priority areas of development for the Barrow administration. Agriculture is a major driver of growth in the Gambia. It accounts for approximately 1/4 of GDP and employs 75% of the labor force. In 2017, agriculture contributed approximately 20% of the Gambia's GDP. Output in the agricultural sector is growing steadily.
Since Barrow government came up to date and during my appointment, we are having a lot of private people coming to support agriculture because we want them to invest in agriculture. As I mentioned, government alone cannot do it. So private people, we have more of them. We have one in rice production. But we have other people attached to Maru farm. They are private people working with Maru at Jahali Pacha. Then if you come to small ruminant also, we have quite a number of private people who are doing small ruminant production in this country. Then poultry also the same thing. We have private people investing in poultry production. So it's a big achievement with Barrow government. One can say that there is mechanization, but now it's improved. Because even this 50 tractor has add value to our rice production and also upland crop production, because now farmers can have easy access to tractors to plow on time. Then not only that, but as a ministry also, we supported quite a number of small-scale farmers with power tillers. Those are portable machines which the individuals can use for plowing. And also we supported them with some milling machines, milling machines, because most of the women, they face a lot of drudgery. They have to use pistol and mortar to pound their coups. But thanks to His Excellency, a lot of milling machine has been provided countrywide. More than 120 communities benefited from those milling machines, power tillers, threshers to thresh rice.
Our rice field is called Base Cluster Rice Growers Association. The rice varieties the project brought are very good. They brought Orilox 6 and Narika L19. The reason I consider these varieties very good is because a friend of mine from Spain, upon seeing the rice in the field, said to me, this variety is very good. He said that is the kind of variety they cultivate in Spain. This gave me confidence that the Orilox 6 can combat food insecurity in the Gambia.
The Barrow government has been very active in the agricultural sector by supporting and investing heavily in programs that support farmers and their communities. Under President Barrow, farmers have been provided with machinery such as tractors, vegetable gardens have been fenced in, solar panels have been provided to ensure constant water supply, and storage facilities have been created to store crops and preserve harvests.
Small-scale female farmers are supported. In fact, even the produce they sell, especially the onions, we are working closely with the Minister of Trade. During the onion period, they will purchase their onions locally so that they can have access to market, which has improved a lot. These past 2 years, they don't face any challenges. Then the other thing also is peanut production, that's groundnut. These past 2 years, the price of groundnut is very lucrative because the amount of money we offer per ton compared to previous years is quite different. And not only that, we also bring fertilizer on time, especially this year. The rainy season started around June, July, but fertilizer came in March. So that's a big plus for the government and also the farming community because they have easy access to inputs. Yeah. So all these are part of our development agenda. We want to ensure that our Gambian farmers, they have easy access to inputs and also plowing.
President Barrow and his government have invested heavily in working towards food self-sufficiency in the Gambia. A major project has been the rice field in Janjanbureh to provide rice by Gambians for Gambians.
Previous years, we procure seeds outside this country. But these past 2 years, the seeds our farmers are planting, we purchase it locally in the country because we have farmers association who are producing those seeds through our National Seed Secretariat. So now our money is not going out to purchase seeds for planting. So we have that seed policy. So we are implementing that seed policy.
When Rice Value Chain Transformation Project came here, they asked us whether we can do the work. We agreed that we can do it. We have seen that when we do the work, we will get development. The project did the plowing and provided fertilizer free of charge. The project rehabilitated our water canals, which were in a very bad state. They brought machines for pumping water because the field is not tidal irrigated.
So that we can improve our rice production in this country. So it's because of that GNIPE and also the support of our able president to support small-scale farmers, especially those people doing small ruminant, and also private people who want to venture into small ruminant production so that they can have credit to expand their small ruminant production. As a Minister of Agriculture, we also consider youths in agriculture because we want to ensure that they have decent employment so that at least this bag waste syndrome can be reduced. With the able leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, the technology in this country will be improved.
Through the support and hard work of the Barrow administration, employment and job opportunities have been created in the agricultural sector in regions around the country. The objective is to uplift Gambians' livelihood and standard of living in every region of the country.
Education occupies a center stage in President Adama Barrow's development initiatives. Since coming to power in 2017, President Barrow's government has built new schools, adding more than 3,000 new classrooms to the existing ones, refurbished classrooms, provided water supply systems in schools, built solar systems in schools, as well as teachers' quarters across the country. Under President Barrow, there is free tuition and or no school fees for students attending grade 1 to 12 in public schools. Government also provides free textbooks for pupils in grades 1 to 9, as well as $2,000 for each grade 10 student for textbooks. President Barrow's government also pays School Improvement Grant, SIG, which is money paid to school accounts on behalf of students from grades 1 to 12. Exam fees for grades 9 and 12 are being paid by government, while providing budget line for school feeding, for the provision of free school meals for schools in Lower River Region and West Coast Region. Just recently, about 1,300 teachers have been promoted to different categories, ending decades of stagnation in the teaching sectors. Vote President Barrow for continuity of the massive developments being initiated under the basic and secondary education sector.
2016 President Adama Barrow ndolle kaddo fayaye sa muneke nyanda mbola do men alinga nyonyini ka wala bang baba ni nyina ka kawaku badi yela bungo mello yatiba yela rangolo je ko mile la je uraro ifo mun du ko yedimba lawo bungola fonni de ma ladu la soro jubala sabu ifo le fam fonni ladu la Adama Barrow Gambia be sa tendu bari kiyankolu wolu tama nyong soto biringa kado fayaye alota janne ako kiyankolu yali busa fema fenna politiko ko na fotala ni ala kidi dal albabe sodolale o si alla jamma min jamana mon ke badum fo per Barrow dal sanni kilim fola saba jankara kilum be mala la kurangala o kiyak naabe fo do hebilo do hebano kura bi senol be bulu kono firjoli be bulu kono o firjoli ne churi mabe fanal be bulu kono o la be mal tol ne churi ala ko la nyim president Adama Barrow o jonno do bi president Adama Barrow ko me kuma kilile fola Gambian koliye kadi de fayo animban ko la yirwa do ko e man kilin alinga nyimbo nyoto oyi ko famba ko carte heb gonna faka leydi wona hunde wotar ali momento mo ali abula do kola oyi ko mon gardi dol mon yettol mon biyo yo ligo haka dum abe wo do kola oyi tama mon mo ligo mon ligey ali bo falin lola juma la ko dege oyi hega ko peja do puro ko beja don mo menga fali ko mina nyin kala ay mentara cewla dum ay siloli dala ay birijoli dala ku ko dawul ke tano bulla yirwata oyi l'hôpital bulla yirwata be yirwata alinga alamuda teme karotil tang tilinano oy disema karotil balle nay nani ala la kidio benda oy tawma dum hodu Allah ndiyamo ya wiw ni anal ma do wiya wiw kala Adama Barrow le oy ko wiw Barrow
yeah DJ Norris
Bomba.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Akamune sino. Ooh no. Gambia yeah yeah. Jumale be sambanola. Woy. Wow. Gambia yeah yeah. Jumale be sambanola. Tell me, how do you feel? Wake up in the morning, searching your pockets. No money if you buy food. Tell me, how do you feel? Mommy's and daddy's dying night and day on the highway. The hospital.
Ousseynou Dabo taxaw mu ne moom du gis doomi Gambia buy jooy te loolu yàgg na du tey xale yi ñoo xamut waaye 1981 bi coup d'état bi amee Gambia biñ tee kilifa Gambia yëpp Lawyer Darboe mu ngi ne moo leen fa génne mu jógee foofu soo am benn pol waajmaan bu nekkoon Brikama dëkk Guinée nekk Guinéen di waajmaan ci fuuri mburu ñu ne xaalis réer na fa ñu yóbbu ko police Brikama ñu door ko bom dee Lawyer Darboe mu ne moom duñ gis fuñ dee toroxale doomi jàmbur mu taxawal pol boobu ba mu wiin kees bi ñii ñu daaxaleen ñii ñu summi leen
dañoo sonna bu leen ndox ak yoon nguur ñun li ci bëgg mooy ndox ak yoon li ci ñun lañuy man bëgguma seen xaalis bëgguma ko de bëgguma seen xaalis man li ma bëgg seen jëf laa bëgg ndax ren ndox mi ñu naan ci weeru koor yëpp yàlla ak seen jëmmi UDP la topp nañu APRC mun amu ci benn dërëm wax nañ ba sonna Adama Barrow digg lañu fi boo xamul ci dara mënu ci dara sonna ni dee nañ wallaahi
xamuñ dara yoon waa ngi nii defatuñ ko xamuñ dara ñu el bu la ñu ñuy nax dinañu indi sa duñu indil ñu sonnanin de ñun kay sonnanin
A United Democratic Party has a fantastic and realistic youth employment and empowerment scheme. A UDP government will facilitate collaborations with private sector to ensure youth like me will obtain the right skills leading to our increased employability.
United Democratic Party will also establish youth entrepreneurship funds and develop local commercial and business entities.
And establish a policy of awarding 25% of government contracts and projects to Gambian youths and Gambian youth enterprises.
UDP ñi xamo soto ka seno sembentu ya ani jamana labang seno jorangol la ka soto la fa ani kantanka soto ko la ko
boo leen fale nguuru UDP fii ci biir Gambia UDP dinañ taxaw lu mel ni ci wàllu mbay bi te kenn du génn wat ci biti dem uti maalo ñëw pour lekk ku nekk lu nga dundee lu nga bay loolu nga dundee UDP taxaw nañ fi taxaw bu nga xam ne ci wàllu mbay bi benn doomi Gambia du fi sonal ci waat askan bi nag li ngay wax ne fal lañ nguuru UDP parce que UDP buñ fi taxawee ci wàllu mbay bi ci wàllu lekk bi kenn du fi sonn wat maalo bi li ngay bay loolu ngay dundee.
Most stakeholders have a sustainable loss in their produces due to poor or even lack of infrastructure and facilities for transportation, storage, process, and marketing. The UDP government is also committed to new business models in agriculture, which will be characterized by the transformative investment in high-yielding subsectors such as fisheries.
UDP because once in office, UDP will implement bold reform to the educational sector by revamping the national basic and secondary education curricula.
A UDP government will also prioritize teachers' professional education and welfare because UDP believes that an education system cannot be better than its teachers.
Vote na UDP o election aro sabuna UDP ko political party mo anduda sibe lami be walla men sengo cellal meden surtout rewbe jibinoɓe en nder ko be jibinta ko ustugol mayde boboji ɗin e mayde rewbe jibinoɓe.
I will vote for UDP this coming election because a UDP government would ensure equitable and rational staffing of all facilities, decentralize and divest management and administrative responsibilities to regional health teams to facilitate efficient healthcare delivery outside the Greater Banjul area.
Anosan amom di mo famume kula tuji nampenora mu ngara ba mala bolole usena UDP ko pan ko ngol ko preno di bugala bu noy nya ku jawja la pitane jaar ku juutu jaar ku jawja pan ko ne may nom kayta ku nom ja kayta ku banja ko be seni prastamon batu ko ne bu bebe mbuleto oto njenene ji nampenora wula tu mu ngara ba mala bolole usena UDP mamba gala wo mo re mu ban.
I will vote for the United Democratic Party because with a UDP government, mobile data and internet broadband are going to be cheaper by developing and modernizing the digital infrastructure to support telecoms and all forms of mass communication.
UDP will increase the generating capacity of Nawe and expand the supply of electricity and also subsidize the high cost of electricity charges to nascent industries and companies to enhance their business potentials, efficiency, and competitiveness.
mu ne moom du gis doom Gambia buy jooy te loolu yaakaar naa du tey xale ñoo xamut waaye 1981 bi coup d'état bi amee Gambia biñ kilifa Gambia yëpp Lawyer Darboe mu ngi ne moo leen fa génne mu jógee foofu soo am benn Paul Wajman bu nekkoon Brikama dëkk Guinée nekk Guinéen di Wajman ci fuuri mburu ñu ne xaalis réer na fa ñu yóbbu ko police Brikama ñu door ko bopp dee Lawyer Darboe mu ne moom duñ gis fu ñu dee toroxale doomi jàmbur mu taxawal Paul boobu ba mu wiin kees bi ñu daxaleen ñu sumbi leen.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are listening to me right now. My name is Lamin Mane. I used to be a staff member of African Development Bank, retired and back home. That's nowhere like home. And hoping that I would find a Gambia changing for the better. We went through hard times. We all, in our different capacities, contributed as much as we could to the advancement of the country, to regime change. And new regime came in place with massive support from the Gambian people. And we thought we were going to go. Came back home, different situation from what we expected. Even before I came home, I've been seeing signs of it. Writing was on the wall. But when we came home and I lived the reality on the ground, you knew that it was much worse than we feared. And at one point I said to myself, I don't have the right to stay in my corner and take care of my business. The Gambia's business is our business, all of us. I started talking with the political parties, look at their manifesto, looking at their programs, looking at the way they do things. And I opted for the United Democratic Party. That decision was made easier by the fact that before I came home, the UDP management, if I may say, or part of the management, in this, Zabo and Mr. Amadou Sane, were doing the rounds of the development finance institutions, came to the African Development Bank to secure debt relief for the country and to request the bank, the African Development Bank, to join the donor conference and work towards rescuing the Gambia. I met them during that time, and I met them a couple of times afterwards, and I saw the determination of it. I saw how they worked. I saw how they devised policies, and I sat and discussed with them. And they called me into a number of committees to start working on the development of a holistic program for the development of the Gambia. This is what we need. We need a program that's going to be run haphazardly by some fly-by-night politician. We want a program that's going to be integrated, well thought out, articulated, and inclusive. And UDP is bringing that possibility to the Gambia. I think it's an opportunity we should seize because the country is in a bad place. Anybody living currently in the Gambia knows that we're in a bad place. Inflation has shot through the roof. Utilities are in the doldrums. Power supply is erratic, unreliable, unsafe. Water supply, forget it. IT is extremely expensive. Agriculture should be the mainstay of the country. It's going nowhere. We cannot live in a country where all we do is spend all the country's budget on administrative expenditure. It is untenable. We need to have a country where the bulk of the budget, or a significant proportion of it, will go towards capital investment. But more importantly, we need a reliable leadership in the country which has integrity, which is committed, which has vision, and which has a team of dedicated Gambians to take the country to the next stage. We are nowhere near that right now. And that is the opportunity that UDP is offering to the Gambians. And that's where Hussein Dabo and the UDP are different. I've come up with a program of government, articulated, well-structured, inclusive, integrated for the Gambia, where everything is thought out properly and budgeted. A program which will be implemented from day one. If UDP is elected to government, they will hit the ground running. Why? Because the program was developed by people who did this seriously over 2 years. Every aspect of the 16 points which are in the UDP manifesto and in particular the 5-point agenda, have been well thought out, have been costed, and we have looked at the sources of funding, primarily internal, and supplemented by assistance from abroad. We cannot count on the foreign donors to take the country to the next stage. It has to start with the Gambian people, our own commitment, our own investment in our future, the future of our children, the future of this country. When we do that, the foreign donors will be running to help us. It will be a win-win. That is where we take this country. And that is where the UDP wants to take this country. That is where Ousainou Darboe wants to take this country. At one point, we have to ask ourselves questions. Are we doing the right thing? Are we being fair with ourselves? Are we being fair with the generations that are going to come after us? We do not have a vision for the future for the Gambia in the current status. In the current dispensation, we are heading for the wall. And we have to reverse that situation. The Gambia a country where we will bequeath to our children a country they can be proud of, a country they can call home, where we wouldn't have our children, our youngsters, risking their life over the high seas, when they can prosper in the Gambia. Where are they living? Because the prospects for growth and development are not available locally. They are risking their lives. We have to reverse that state of affairs. The Gambia has potential. It's not being tapped. It's not being developed the way we should. That's why the UDP's 5-point agenda is centered around what? Human development. That's the basic concept. We put in place an education system that will cater for the Gambian people, that will make our youth employable, that will develop skills for them. The next phase being a skills development for the youth and the women in difficult menial jobs. We don't have to be like that. Today, agriculture is a menial job. It's a poor man's activity. And it should be, and could be, and will be a growth sector when the UDP takes over. And I'm sure the Gambians will give themselves that opportunity of government that will work for them, for the betterment of the country. That is where the UDP wants to take the Gambia. Let's look at it this way. We have to start loving ourselves. We cannot just entrust our affairs to a government which doesn't seem to care about us. We have to know that we are the bosses of this government or any other government that is supposed to come later on. We, the Gambians, employ those members of government. We pay their salaries. We take care of them. They, in turn, are supposed to take care of us, the Gambians, who entrusted those powers to them. We are delegating our individual and collective sovereignty to the government to take care of us. They work for us. And the UDP government will work for the Gambians. That's why the 5-point was articulated as the starting point. So you will judge us on this 5-point agenda if you entrust the government to us. We will deliver on that, and we will move on to the other sectors, the other 11 sectors. But that doesn't mean that we'll do only the 5-point agenda. We will do other sectors. Priority focus will be on those 5 points, those 5 sectors. But of course, we'll be doing other things like infrastructure development. We will be doing it. We'll be doing regional integration, which is key. And it is an enormous growth sector. From the 1st of January 2021, the African Continental Free Trade Area is in place, which has enormous potential for the country. If we tap into that and get into the value chains, we will be in a very comfortable position. If we don't, we will become irrelevant. Other countries will take advantage of it and will grow, will only be a consumer country with little or no prospect of growth, of development, and we will become irrelevant. Is that where we want to be? Certainly not. So let's give ourselves the opportunity to develop, to prosper, to move forward. Agriculture is the mainstay of this country and will continue to be so if we do the right thing by going on the 4th of December to vote for the UDP. To support the party, it's extremely important to be dedicated to the cause of the party, but even more important is going out to vote on the 4th of December. And I'm appealing to all of you, when you go vote, don't go alone. Take 4 or 5 people with you from your friends, your family, because we have to turn out the vote. If you do, you are sure that most people will vote. If you don't, some people might forget, some might be lazy about it, some might sleep, some might say, oh, nothing's going to change. No, things will change if you make it change, if you make them change. Personally, I have identified 11 families. I told them on election day, I'm going to come transport all of you to the voting stations, to the polling stations. Everybody might be able to do that, but you can get your 4 or 5 friends and family members and walk with them to the polling stations and vote and come back. You will keep each other company, and then people will vote. Let's all make effort, turn out vote, because we have to get people to the votes. We can only develop the country the way UDP promises to do it if we do that. And under the agriculture sector, when we develop the agriculture sector, the income levels of all Gambians, because the majority of Gambians live in agriculture, their income levels will go up, the disposable income will go up, the expenditure they can make in the year will go up, they will take care of the families better, the tax base will widen, and we'll have more money from that tax base to be able to invest in the country. Our projects will be moved from just greenfield projects to greenfield projects, and by that I mean we will move them to a point where we have started implementation, and we will do serious bankable projects. If you have serious, well thought out bankable projects, you will secure funding. Trust me, that is me out there. But it goes to the good projects, not white elephants. And the UDP will ensure that, because we have thought this over for 2 years. Areas and projects. So please, Gambians, let's love ourselves. Let's continue to the next stage by voting UDP. Voting for the UDP means development for the country, means respect for the Gambians, means taking care of the interest of Gambians. We will get rid of corruption. You cannot get rid of corruption 100% probably, but you will reduce it significantly. We will make sure that this country doesn't become a narco state, which is really staring us in the face. We will make sure that our resources are developed for this country. We will get partnerships from abroad on a win-win basis. But the Gambian and the Gambian private sector will be leading that development effort. It will be based on agriculture, processing of agricultural produce, export of agricultural produce, joining the value chains to develop the country. So please, Gambians, fellow Gambians, countrymen, we appeal to you to support the UDP in the best interest of the Gambia. And I'm sure you do that in this country. We care for this country. I thank you all very much for your attention. Long live the Gambia.
Lawyer Usain Dabo, Inkumu Bilem, Atolota.
Gambia Paul Hussein Dabra Niolela at prison pour Gambia free.
25 years mbe do kola yen lipa yen sorom mamuru koma la bankola an bankola kayro Gambia be wala suje wala tna ninga kumandiro ke ani mo la kumandir bu kambu.
We are coming here to start change.
The youth are ready for a change, and the change is going to happen from December 4th. Inshallah, Mr. Dabo will be elected.
The love is real, and the love for the party leader is authentic. These people are not faking it.
Hussein Dabo no more than the Banco Camp. I don't come for December. Gambia will be a lot of a cut of fire. I can next president of the Republic of the Gambia. His Excellency, Lawyer Seb Numukunda Dabo.
Bimu Gambian call tentu lumleti. Ka Gambian call be tentu. Alenyi lam nte kunding to.
New UDP, New Gambia.
Gambia musolu wayna woy mbalo nimbaranye bakomolo wayna mbawoye wayo moluoy Mbawoye wayo Banko musolo Gambia musolo alma ale al sutura alba doko minna alla bata alma ale akali khairati atollo musolti mini alanko alka wulu alka fatimol to alka dingol to koma diko mo soto be min no minnam wayna woy mbale min baranye banko modo wayna woye bawoy sura mam so alamale so banko modo wayna woye bawoy sura mam so alamale so Yellow man soto, Diol man soto, Alula al TCD, Gambia Musukendolo, and the Gambia Bondi, Nalu, Animbara, Dolalu, Gambia Musolu, no de Banda in Dunia Conole, Alton Mamarum Lakafa in Timolto, Albar Musul Lakafa in Timolto, Aldol.